My name is Jennifer Edwards, and I'm on the board of Justice and Witness at the First Congregational UCC. And I'm here with some ladies who represent Black Lives Movement, Manhattan, Kansas. And I would like them to each introduce themselves to you as well. Teresa?
Hi, how are you guys doing? My name's Teresa Parks. I am one of the co-founders of the Black Lives Movement here for Manhattan, Kansas. Thank you very much for having us. We're excited to have a conversation with you guys.
And I'm Jaynae Cole, a co-founder of the Black Lives Movement as well. Thank you so much for having us this afternoon.
Thank you for being here, you ladies. First, if you would tell us a little bit about, you've already mentioned the name, Black Lives Movement of Manhattan, Kansas. What is the mission of your movement? Teresa, you go ahead.
Thank you. I think that one of the biggest issues that we would like to tackle is for making sure that people are being heard and acknowledged, and that we have allies who are aware of certain issues that are affecting marginalized communities, and getting people mobilized to help and do what they can to change some things in a lasting and meaningful way. You know, we've got protests going on, but we've also been doing voter registrations and things like that, making sure that people are informed and not just opinionated about who's running. And so it's really about making people feel empowered to make the changes that need to be made.
Excellent. As you think about what you're doing, I think Teresa mentioned these, but talk a little bit about the focus, like for right now. What's your focus at this point?
So our primarily focus right now is voter registration, along with some, there's some, as far as if anybody knows about Manhattan, Kansas, it's nothing compared to like Chicago, Los Angeles, any other states that may be experiencing some other tension with the police there. But our main focus right now, getting more active with the city of Manhattan and learning who the leaders are, who's sitting in the chairs that is going to assist us with this injustice.
We've definitely been doing a lot of outreach and connecting with people in different organizations who have some of the same focus and same goals. We understand that we're not going to accomplish our goals in a bubble, and so we are in the ally collecting stage. We've definitely been vetting different organizations and individuals who have said that they are on the same page with us. We've definitely talked with the RCPD director, Chief Butler. He's great. He's been very open. He's been very willing to engage. And whenever we've had any sort of events, RCPD has been partnering with us and not just providing security and law and order, but they've actually been participating as well. I think that he has the same idea of what, quote unquote, good law enforcement looks like. And so we just want to make sure that Manhattan, Kansas, and any of the surrounding areas don't become one of those viral videos that everybody has been talking about. So we just wanted to do our part to be proactive when it comes to addressing some things that we've seen in our community.
It sounds to me like you're very much, you want to be a peaceful organization.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that was something that we definitely stressed before our first event. If you want to change something in a system, it's not always about bucking the system, but trying to figure out how you can work that system to its best advantage. How can we become partners and work within this system to change the things that we are not happy about? But one thing that we realized is that we weren't going to affect any change just sitting at home on our couches fussing about what was going on. For me, it was important for me to start getting up and going into some of those county commission meetings. How are the decisions about things in our community being made? Who's making those decisions? Are they open to feedback from the people that they, quote unquote, work for, the constituents in the community? And so these were things that I started getting a lot more engaged in. And as we started having the Ahmaud Arbery's, the Breonna Taylors, the George Floyd's, those things happening, and being a mother of children of color, that was the personal connection for me, is that I just don't want to see any of my children become one of those stories or one of those headlines ever. And then to see people who don't know or care about my children just make assumptions, I would never want to see that happen. So what can I do to mitigate some of these circumstances that I've been seeing over and over and over again? And that's what we're really about. Show up, speak up, get involved in the areas where you can make some change.
Yeah, it's sort of like you're tending your own garden here to start.
There you go.
And thank you for talking about the fear you experience for your children, because a lot of people don't understand that. And I think that's a very important part.
Right. And as you know, I have a grown son. I only have one child, and he's 19. And I just fear, like, if he's out with his friends, you know, because I always stress the issue of, you know, eye contact. You know, if you are stopped, just answer the questions. Do not, you know, get loud or belligerent with the law. It's going to cause attention. Put your hands on the steering wheel. But my son, he's not driving, so he doesn't have to put his hands on the steering wheel. But whoever's driving, maybe he can direct traffic to them about that. And it's just like walking on eggshells. We're totally tired of that. You know, I understand that some people may not experience that, but there's different levels to it.
Yes. How many people do you have working in your movement?
As far as working on the committee, approximately there's 20 people involved. On our Facebook page, we have well over 1,000 members. We do have a BLM MHK like page, which close to 400 likes so far. You know, for the people who are not in the group, it's like, hey, this is public and this is information to make you more aware of it. You know, so we do have an Instagram account, we have a Gmail account, and we have a Twitter.
Let's take a few minutes and talk about anything that you want the public to hear that we didn't cover today. You
know, a lot of people that approach me, they don't even recognize their blind spot. You know, some people like never heard of a situation that we've been through or never will experience that situation.
Right.
I mean, mouth-dropping situations.
Information is going to be a big piece of being an ally, because a lot of information has not been freely disseminated to everyone about even historical facts when it comes to racial injustice and systemic things. And so I know that there's a lot of people who are opinionated when it comes to racial issues. And what I tell people all the time, and what I want to strive to do, is to make sure people are truly informed. Make informed decisions, not just opinionated. Everybody's got an opinion. How much information do you have about this subject? Have you talked with somebody who's had an experience that may be outside of your perspective? And so it's really about that outreach, connecting people with information that allows them to be more empathetic to people who don't necessarily look like them or have things in common with them. We're not all cookie cutter, you know, from a box, and we're not supposed to be. But the one thing that we can all have in common is loving on each other in an active way. Right. We can be kind to one another. Even if the situation doesn't affect me personally, if I see that it's affecting someone else and hurting them, why can't I be kind and empathetic and speak up for them? If I have some power that allows people to acknowledge me, and then I can lend an ear or a voice to that, why wouldn't I? And so that's what we need our allies to do. If you have people in your circle who are a little misinformed or maybe ignorant about some things when it comes to racial injustice and different topics there, then be the person who enlightens them and shares something with them and informs them. If you see them doing something that is less than kind or saying something that's less than kind,
speak up.
Be who will speak up. Absolutely. That's one of the things that enables and emboldens people who are more actively racist, is people who will stand by and allow them to be.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you have a list of books that you can recommend to people?
Oh, don't get me started. There's so many. Just talking historically, how to make a Christian Negro. That is a whole book that talked about how religion was used as a control tactic to keep slaves pretty much docile. There's Frances Cress Welsing is a author. She was a doctor. She was a lecturer. She was a professor, and she did a lot of work when it came to writing books and things that were trying to educate people about different racial dynamics and things that could be helpful. Dr. Henry Clarke, look him up. He is also an excellent resource when it comes to some of these. I'm going to say this. I love Miss Jane Elliott. Look up Miss Jane Elliott's videos. She is one of the best and most impactful lecturers when it comes to racial issues and dynamics there. And I think that she is a lot easier for some people to swallow because she looks like a lot of people that you would think might not get it. I think it's hard sometimes for people to take certain conversations that aren't wrapped in certain packages. And so I think this would be a good lead in for people to start having some of those conversations.
That's great information.
Yeah.
Well, oh boy, I want to thank you two so much for your passion and your hard work and your action to bring justice to our community and the world. And thank you for your time today to help us to begin to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I look forward to meeting you again.